Hi, everybody. It's me, Dr. Orion Taraban, and I thought that I would do something a little different today. We passed a significant milestone on the channel very recently where we finally arrived at 100,000 subscribers. It's almost baffling to me that this has actually occurred. This happened to the day 102 weeks after I began first posting on this channel. And I wanted to take some time to thank everybody for their enormous support over the last 2 years. And for those who are interested to talk a little bit about my story and why I started this channel and how I ended up here. And if that doesn't interest you, just wait for the next PsycHacks episode. So first, it's really important for me to express my gratitude for all of you. It's so humbling to think that there are 100,000 people out there who care what I have to say. It's an amazing privilege. It's one that I don't take lightly. As I've mentioned in my posts, the more of you there are, the more I'm inspired to put more work and care into what I do. And I hope that that will only continue in a virtuous cycle moving forward. I obviously couldn't be doing this without you, and I kind of feed on that energy. It's motivated me to remain consistent through the times when it's been rather difficult to keep going sometimes. I don't know how many of you out there have ever tried to start a YouTube channel. It's easy to start. I mean, anybody can record something and put it on the internet, but it's very, very difficult to achieve any kind of traction. So I'm extremely grateful. I can't wait to walk with you even further because I have big things in store for the channel, and I'm just flabbergasted that we're here. So thank you very much. For those of you who are interested, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the story of this channel because I get asked that from time to time in the questions. So basically, I'm a psychologist in private practice, and I specialize in men's mental health. And I've been in private practice for a while, and I've been feeling fairly confident about the work that I do with my clients. And it's extremely rewarding. Like being a psychotherapist it's really the best job in the world, and it's extremely fulfilling. That said, I was getting to the point where I was struggling with the fact that if I was successful in my private practice, that means that I was really only helping maybe 30 people a month. And while that's important, I mean, to actually make a difference in the lives of 30 people is no small thing. I felt that what I could offer might be of benefit to an even greater proportion of the population. So I tried to think about how I could do that. I could try writing a book, which I'm starting to work on, but it's very hard for anyone to read your book if no one really knows who you are or cares about what you have to say. So of all the different options that I considered, it seemed like starting a YouTube channel might be worth trying. So I did a little research in an afternoon and looked into what made a YouTube channel successful. And based on my research, I gave myself 3 years. I committed in that moment to working on this podcast and publishing regularly like clockwork with no exceptions for at least 3 years. And if I still didn't reach my primary threshold of success, I would reevaluate at that time. But I committed myself to 3 years, and that primary threshold of success was 100,000 subscribers. So we've reached that in a little less than 2. So I overshot the time estimate, but that's better than the other way around because I might have given up. So I started to work on episodes, and the first episodes I published are still available on the channel. I think I'm going to leave them up there, at least the first few, forever, because I think it's really important for people to see that that everything that they see on the internet, it didn't just sort of like materialize effortlessly. Like if you watch the first episodes, you'll see how far the channel has come in the last 2 years. I've made a lot of changes, and I think they're for the better. And I kind of learned by doing. I didn't really buy a whole bunch of fancy equipment. I didn't spend thousands of dollars in promotions. In fact, I haven't promoted this at all. I haven't paid for viewers. I haven't paid to promote this on any social media. The growth has been entirely organic. And that's because you don't make any money on YouTube for a very long time. And even once you start making money, it's very little for quite some time afterwards. So I had to kind of just make the decision to start where I was at and have faith that I would kind of learn as I went. And I think that's actually a really good way of doing this and pretty much anything. It's like, it's better just to start where you're at and put in massive effort and learn by doing, because you're going to suck in the beginning. And those first few episodes, I mean, it's hard to hear. I'm kind of rambling. I was in a different location. I mean, I learned a lot by doing and also by listening to feedback that I received. And it wasn't, I think, until around the 80th episode or so that I received any kind of traction at all. And this is something to really keep in mind, is that meant for like maybe like 10 months, I was putting in effort every single day, sometimes for hours every single day, and getting like absolutely zero reinforcement. You do this for a while and you put a lot of effort into what you're doing, and it's just like throwing it into the void of the internet. Nobody sees it. You're invisible to the algorithm. You get no money, you get no praise, you get no attention. And it's actually extremely hard to keep going through that. And the reason that I did was because I made that firm commitment to myself from the outset that no matter what happened, I would do this for at least 3 years. And that's something to consider. A lot of people, I think, quit during that time period before their efforts start to bear fruit, for better or for worse. It generally takes a while for people to care enough to even pay attention to anything that you're saying or doing. And I remember the days where I would get like 1 subscriber, and it was really cool. I think for those first 10 months, I had like 40 subscribers. In fact, in January 2022, YouTube told me I think I had that many. I think 39 subscribers when I started last year. Now here we are at 100,000. So nothing happens for a very long time, and then suddenly everything kind of starts to happen all at once. And I think that's true in a lot of different domains of life. Success and progress is rarely a positive slope up and to the right. So if you can understand that, you might be able to get through the periods where it's very difficult until that point where things start to click. Basically, the way that I have moved, my intention here is to, as I say in my description, to reduce the unnecessary suffering in the world. And the way I do that is basically by working with my clients. And of course, everything is anonymous, and I don't mention anybody in my work, but a lot of what I talk about on this channel comes up in my clinical practice. And I think, whoa, if this is a problem that one person is dealing with, I'm sure it's a problem that many people are dealing with. And if this intervention or this solution might be of use to this one person, it very well might be of use to many other people. So that's kind of the principle that I operate from. This isn't a channel where I talk about a lot of academic research. This isn't a channel where I talk a lot about theory. This is really practical. This is about getting people out of pain. This is about helping people make money, having better relationships, getting through the shit, because life is very, very hard, and we need practical, actionable solutions to get out of the difficulties that we are subject to finding ourselves in. And I'd like to think that the channel helps move folks in that direction. At least that's certainly my intention. I do not want to be inflammatory. I do not want to be divisive. I'm not doing this so that I could make a significant amount of money. It's nice that the money is coming in because I can reinvest that in the channel in different ways, like getting help. I'm not very good at tech, for instance. And yeah, it's because I have various sources of income already. So this isn't about getting famous. This isn't about making a bunch of money. It's about trying to help people live better lives. Whether I succeed is up to you, of course, but that certainly is my intention. Now, about moving forward, I hope to continue to put out good content for you on the regular. I am, in my slow and consistent way, moving in the direction of writing a book, which many of you have asked about. I'm excited about the prospect, but it's going to take some time because I have my clinical practice, I work on the channel, I have another business. So it kind of has to happen when nothing else is happening. So I'm doing it here and there, but it will come out. I'm moving in that direction. And I'm beginning to do more long-form interviews on the channel, inviting people that I am really impressed by and I'm interested in to have longer discussions with. And hopefully you'll see more of those on this channel moving forward as well. Now, a lot of you have asked me to appear on other people's podcasts. That's great. Not really up to me entirely whether I appear. It generally requires an invitation. So what I would ask of you is that if there's somebody that you would like me to speak to, one of the best things that you can do to make that happen, to help make that happen, is to reach out to the person you want me to speak to, especially if you follow them and are familiar with their content. And if that other person gets enough feedback from his or her subscriber base that they're interested in a conversation between the two of us, it's going to make it much more likely that person will extend an invitation to me. Me asking for an invitation, it generally doesn't work. But if that invitation arrives organically from the audience of these various other folks, it's much more likely to happen. So that is one easy way that some of you could help to further the mission of the channel. And it helps you get what you want if you want me to talk to certain individuals. Costs you nothing, just, a minute of your time. So something to consider. And again, I'm super stoked about the future. Who knows how far this is going to go? I'm going to keep writing it out for a while and making a better and better experience for everybody. So again, thank you very much for accompanying me this far, and let's keep going. All right. Bye-bye.